Hello everybody and welcome back to Dacob in Between. So now we have an interesting topic here. So we were just talking about Jerusha Couture and the bags that she would never ever want to buy. And we were analyzing that. It's very interesting. So go check out that video on my channel as well. But now we're going to touch base on something interesting, you guys. We're going to talk about Hermes. One of my lovely viewers brought this to my attention. So we were talking about this before, but feather-brained. Huh? Missy F. We're going to talk about this interesting article that you have sent my way about the fact that Hermes has dropped out of the top 5 resold luxury brands. Now, this is very, very interesting. Isn't this interesting, you guys? I'm just reading it here. By the way, check out my FOMO pop socket, Fear of Missing Out Super Dacob. You can get this one on Amazon, in my Amazon shop, the FOMO pop socket. So this is an article that is, of course, where else? On Hypebeast, duh. An article about the fact that Gucci was the most bought and resold luxury brand of 2021, according to The Real Real. Now, The Real Real... How real is The Real Real? We want to know. But we are shook. Glad you made it to Dacob Stream, says, yes, everybody. I live stream every Saturday. By the way, everybody's invited to join the live streams every Saturday on my channel. We all get to talk together and, converse about all of these topics. And we get to share our opinions on them. And everybody's invited to... I know I am. Right, Donnie? And subscribe to my channel. Push that subscription button, and you can also become a member. Join today, gain access to extra perks. Follow me on Patreon as well. So there's a lot to be said and talked about, and my hair is a mess, as always. But it's most of you guys that also bring the topics to me that are very, very interesting. And we have this really interesting topic now. So... according to Hypebeast reporting through The Real Real, the top 5 are Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Prada, Dior, and Gucci. Gucci winning. Gucci being on top. Now, honestly, really? I don't know if this is The Real Real trying to profit, to jump in on this market, and because they have a lot of Gucci products that they want to sell, so they're making it sound like it's very sought after. But honestly, Gucci even has outlets and stuff. Like, what is your guys' opinion? And also, two things. What is your opinion from your personal experiences, guys? Have you been noticing this huge resale of Gucci lately? 1 point. Or in general, what do you think are the most resold brands? And second point that I want to touch base on in this short little video we're doing together today is, if Hermes is not in the top 5, okay, what do you think the reason is? Like, what do you think? Is it because they're starting to price themselves out of the market? Because as the prices of the bags in the boutiques, right? The actual prices of the Kellys and the Birkins keep going up and up and up, because we all know that's what people want to buy. Nobody cares about their other bags. That's really sad for Hermes, but that's bottom line. Is it because the prices have gone so up that even the second-hand market, which always follows the tendencies of the prices of these bags in the boutiques, now we have the prices on the second-hand market, and we know that for Birkins and Kellys, their prices go for much higher on the secondary market than they would go for new in the boutique, because nobody really gets access to these bags unless you don't have a purchase history, good connection to your sales associate, and yada yada. You know the spiel. You know the journey. We all know the Hermes journey and how it goes. So do we think that now Hermes has come to a point where it's killed off second-hand market value of their own bags because they've come to a point where the prices are just so high, people just don't even look for them anymore online? Or have they oversaturated the market with their Birkins and Kellys? Have we had enough of them? I have the feeling lately it's mostly the Asian market that's still really interested and fascinated with Birkins and Kellys and Hermes. Mostly, I don't know, European people buying. I have to fix my hair, you guys, because we got air conditioning blowing in the back, so it keeps messing my hair. For those of you who are just tuning in now and you're thinking to yourself, what the hell is he doing with a comb in the middle of a video? It's because I live streamed like 12 hours in a go, so throughout this time, I have to keep fixing myself. Elegantly and affluently, darling. So, you know, people get into this. Okay, in Europe, in America, dare I say, Birkin and Kelly have become, not so much the Kelly, the Birkin, almost vulgar. You know what I mean? And I think maybe in Asian culture, for Asian countries, it's more like still a status symbol. I think it's important to have one because of different reasons. So it's a cultural, if it's a cultural thing, gotta respect it. It's a different culture. It is what it is. But maybe this is one of the reasons that worldwide, the Real is reporting that Hermes is losing its position. Its pole position is gone on the resale market. What do you guys think? Let me read a couple of your comments. Jesus says, Madonna posing with an old golden Birkin on Instagram. LOL. Oh, did she do that? Or was it a Kelly child? Well, I don't know. I haven't seen the photo. Maybe it's price point. Gucci bags are more affordable. So definitely, I also believe the price point has something to do with it. They are pricing themselves out of the market a little bit. A lot. Chanel is doing the same, by the way, even though we still see Chanel on the top 5 list. Now, somebody just said, I think Jack said, I would not really trust everything the Real says. I also would not believe them to save my life. Maximo says, I've always liked the Kelly more. So have I. Now, with the price point, what is interesting with Chanel, the price point of certain bags with Chanel does go down. Now, you know, a couple of years back when the jumbo double flap timeless classics were all the rage, prices were skyrocketing. Now, nobody really wants them. They're heavy as a tank, quite unpractical. Market is not really there for it. In fact, we're experiencing for the first time ever, the prices of the jumbos are going down. The prices of the jumbos are in many cases lower than what their asking price in boutique new used to be like 4 or 5 years ago. That's something interesting to talk about. That's a development within the luxury bag sphere where Chanel is starting to lose traction. Now, they're upping the prices of their bags to a point where the secondary market has to follow. So they're trying to kill off the secondhand market by making the secondhand market cost so much as it's running to catch up with Chanel's new prices, that at a certain point, people are going to be like, well, for this money, I'd rather just buy new rather than risking to get a replica or something on the secondary market for that money. So Chanel is playing this game. It's a delicate game. It's a tricky game. They might lose that game because they might ultimately succumb to people not wanting to buy their bags new anymore because they cost too much, and not wanting to even run after the secondhand ones because even secondhand costs too much. So they're in the middle of that poker game right now, while Hermes seems to have lost that poker game, at least for the time being, because as of 2021, they're not in the top 5 anymore. What do you guys think? Connor Slaney, I think here, I think they're too expensive. Nobody wants to be dropping 10 to 20,000 on any bag in general, no matter the brand. It's just not realistic to spend that much on a bag. Bim Black says, vintage Gucci bamboo is having a comeback. I just got one from 70s as well. Gary says, we have like 5 Hermes stores in England. I don't see much of it, even in the cities it's sold. Happy Day says, Chanel small classic flap is going above retail at the moment, seeing them for £7,000, but retail is $5,410. There was a time when the small classic double flap, you couldn't find it in the boutiques to save your life because nobody wanted it, so they weren't manufacturing them. Now there's demand for them. Also demand for the minis, really, but the minis, I think they've seen their time. It's like, how many minis? I guess whoever starts collecting now is going to want to hunt down the mini, the square mini, the rectangular mini. But for those who have already their 5, 6 different versions of the mini, like how many more minis can you get? It gets really boring and very repetitive, and it just doesn't inspire you anymore. It doesn't give you the thrill or the kick anymore. K to the D says, I can't stand Gucci. The label is paying top dollar to secretly advertise in the top spot. When I had my label, that is what I had to do to get in the top 5 on sites and especially emails and mailers. Now, you see, this is one of the reasons why these kind of like the Real and Co, we should not be fully trusting them and their numbers. Because there's always manipulation going on in the background that, you know, higher politics that we don't know much about. But we can connect the dots, can't we? Delphine Red says, Hermes is expensive new. Secondhand items are expensive as well. Not to mention speculation. Price point is so high, it probably does not sell easily. Gwen says, I do like the vintage Gucci stuff with the bamboo handle. I do like their bamboo handles as well. And the reasons why they started using bamboo was also a very interesting one. Pixel Hexa says, I really wish there were smaller brands that are interesting to me design-wise. I'd rather not wear the larger brands. K to the D says, I can't stand Gucci. The label is paying top dollar. Oh, sorry, I already read that one, you guys. We need more than one source to really know, says CM. I completely agree with you. That's why we're here also discussing this together, just to raise awareness about this, about the potential. We shouldn't just take for granted whatever Hypebeast and Co. writes online. They're not a source of total and ultimate truth. We always got to think with our own heads and gather more information and have a place like the Fashion Bunker where we can get to converse about these things together, share our opinions, and not be just consuming passively the information that is given to us through these websites. So ZQ says, I have a vintage bamboo handle bag, which is beautiful. I saw the new ones and was not a fan. Kevy W says, I was at Fashion File recently and heard a rep telling a seller that they are no longer accepting black classic flaps at the moment because they have too many on hand and they don't want to go down with the price because they don't want to ruin the market, but they have too many on hand. Yeah, makes total sense to me. Honestly, I think the real magic of Hermes is not the Birkin, but the scarves, says Penelope. Cecilia says, I love the Jackie bag, have a vintage one. What I'm seeing a lot happening here, kind of repeating itself in the chats, is I keep seeing vintage come back, and people are very appreciative of vintage. They enjoy vintage more and more, and I think a lot of these brands have bitten themselves in their own tail because with their heritage products and bags that they keep making since decades now, whether it be the timeless classic, a double flap, or the Jackie or the saddlebag, whatever have you, right? It's like the ones that they produce now are not the same quality as the same ones they would produce 10, 20 years ago. So, but they demand a much higher price now than they did 10, 20, 30 years ago. So here we are stuck in this position as a consumer. We're realizing that the vintage ones have better quality. It's the same model bag as the ones that they produce today, but the ones they produce today have lower quality but a higher price tag. So these brands are killing themselves. It's not like they're delivering those 5 models that are heritage, vintage, that are heritage of the brand, and they deliver those 5 models in really extreme quality, and everything else they kind of try to save some money, cut corners wherever they can. No, even on their highest end products, the heritage products, even there they cut costs. And I think that's going to so come back to bite them in the butt. And it's already coming to bite them in the butt. Suzy Q says, the small classic flap is now $7,100. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, says Audrey. Completely agree with you. Happy Day says, when you search Chanel and Vestiaire, etc., I'm surprised how many hundreds of terrible bag designs from different seasons. Yeah, they do have a lot of ugly ones. And now that we have influencers all the time, give it another 10 years time, and you're gonna, now when we see vintage bags, 20 years ago, there was no real influencer Instagram motion happening. So a lot of these bags that are vintage now that were seasonal back then, we don't have a memory of them unless we personally wanted them back then. But the bags that are new now and seasonal now and pushed by influencers now, imagine fast forwarding 20 years from now, looking back at the photos of these Oompa Loompas. Oh my God, such victims. You're going to just, oh my God, cringe to even think about, let alone to see. But fascinating too, because, looking back 20 years from now, we will be able to look at all of this and think, wow, we were victims too, because from time to time we fall for this stuff as well. You know what I mean? Oli Soto says, I'm loving this discussion, Dacob. So anyway, thank you guys so much. This is just a little moment in time I wanted to share with you. For those of you who watch this video afterwards, after it's been published, please continue the conversation in the comment section down below, because it is an important conversation. We have to keep this conversation going. Share this video, thumb it up, subscribe to my channel, but most importantly, share this video, because we have to raise awareness about this, about where the brands want us to go and where we actually want to be. Those are two different conversations. The brands don't want us to converse about where we want to be. The brands just want us to drift afloat in the direction they want us to go to, so that we keep spending money for them. Times are changing. I hope they are. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, never forget to never give up on love. Love you all. See you soon. Take care. Bye. Mwah.